everybody. I'm meteorologist Bo Dotson. It is July 6, 2016, and we've got some thunderstorms pushing into the area. One area from the north and one area from the west. We'll take a look at radar at around 8:15 a.m. in the morning, and you see the area of storms to our north, northeast of St. Louis, and then up towards moving into the Vincennes area of Indiana. This is sagging southward, and with it will be some clouds. How much of this survives into our area is a little questionable. We also have another MCS out here in western Missouri, a complex of thunderstorms, and it's pushing off towards the east. It's this area that we're going to be watching for this afternoon as it moves into some unstable air. We may have some severe weather as the afternoon and evening wears on. Late morning into the afternoon hours, we'll be watching both areas, the area coming in from the north and the area coming in from the west. Take a look at satellite view this morning, and you can see visible satellites showing these cold cloud tops. Let me stop this animation and move forward. These bumpy areas, these are the tall thunderstorm cloud tops, cumulonimbus clouds, extending across Indiana into central Illinois. This is sagging south and east. And then here's our other thunderstorm complex out to the west over parts of Kansas and Missouri. Turn on the infrared satellite view, and you see these very cold cloud tops, the reds and the yellows. Those are cold cloud tops, thunderstorm tops, cumulonimbus clouds. Some of these storms are more than 50,000 feet up into the atmosphere, and some of them are producing some severe weather as well. Take a look at a few weather maps this morning. The Storm Prediction Center, I've been waiting on them to update. They had the risk zone back here further, and I was waiting, thinking they would shift it south and west, and they did. A few minutes ago, they extended the slight risk area back into Missouri and northern Arkansas into more of Kentucky. Basically, the Storm Prediction Center has different categories in their outlook, everywhere from general thunderstorms here in the light green, meaning non-severe storms, to a marginal risk of severe weather. Then the next level up is the slight risk, and then enhanced risk, and we have moderate and high above that. They've got us in a slight risk, and what slight risk means is that severe thunderstorms will likely occur in the outlook area, but probably won't produce widespread severe weather, but rather a few reports of severe weather. That's what slight risk is supposed to mean. The bottom line is that some of the storms later today could produce some patches of damaging winds, maybe some small hail, heavy rain for sure, and lightning. One more look at the visible satellite. This is a little higher resolution. You can see these tall thunderstorm cloud tops. That's what these agitated, bumpy areas are. Here's the area moving in from the north and northeast, and here's the area off to our west. Both of those are moving towards us, and you also see some high clouds over parts of southeast Missouri and southern Illinois. That's important because the less clouds today, the more unstable the atmosphere will become. If you have clear sunny sky, then the atmosphere is going to heat up. It's going to become unstable, and that gives the thunderstorms a little more energy to work with as they push in our area. So that's one part of the forecast I'll be monitoring. Already we have CAPE values of 2 to 4,000 in the region. Here's the 3,000 outline right here, and then we have 2,500 outlined across most of the area. That's a lot of CAPE for early in the morning. Now you see this shaded blue area. We still have a bit of a inversion at the lower levels, but when the sun heats everything up, that inversion will disappear, and we'll probably have CAPE index values of 3, 4, 5,000 for these thunderstorms to work with later today. CAPE is basically energy for thunderstorms to work with, and that's plenty energy for some severe weather. Let's take a look at a Futurecast radar from the HER model guidance. I'll back this up a little bit here. We move forward. This is around 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12 p.m. We stop it here at 12 p.m. and you see the showers and storms to our north have weakened considerably. Not sure they'll be completely gone, but this model says they will be. And that will leave an outflow boundary that will drift southward, and that may interact with this area out to the west, and we'll have to keep an eye on that. Anytime you have a boundary in the area, that can be where a little more enhanced shear occurs winds, different levels, different directions, and you can have a little more severe weather. But for sure, we're going to have to watch this thunderstorm complex coming out of Missouri. You can even see on the HUR how it's bowing outward. If that were to occur, then you can have high winds in this bow area. Now, I'm not sure that's exactly what radar will look like. This is a model. It's a forecast. It's not a promise. So, but it does appear that a line of strong thunderstorms will approach our area later this afternoon into the evening hours. This is around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and I stop it there at 2, and you can see from St. Louis and then bowing outward towards Paducah and back into the Missouri Boot Hill. Again, if this is the case, we may have a severe thunderstorm watch cover parts of the area later today, mainly for severe weather. Move forward a little bit more into the afternoon, and we go into the evening hours around 3, 4, 5 o'clock. Here we are at the 7 o'clock hour. Now, one thing I want you to pay attention to that I'm a little concerned about, not all of the guidance is picking up on this, is that this thunderstorm complex leaves behind a boundary, and additional thunderstorms may develop over parts of our area this evening and tonight. That's not a sure bet, but if it were to occur, some of those storms could produce very heavy rainfall totals, 1, 2, 3 inches of rain per hour. We have a lot of moisture in the atmosphere for storms to work with. So that's another item I'm going to be keeping an eye on later today to see if we might have some storms that develop overnight. I move ahead to the 9 p.m. hour. You can see some storms in the northwest Tennessee, but also more trying to form over Illinois, Missouri. I don't like to see storms form at night in this atmosphere because they can be slow moving. They can train over the same areas, and we could have a situation where we have excessive rainfall totals. I want to show you the shear, the amount of wind shear in the atmosphere today. It's not great as we move into the late morning and afternoon, but what I want to show you is, I'll stop it right around here, is the amount of shear and wind with this complex coming in. This gives me some pause to think that we may have a damaging wind event in our area, at least a possibility at the leading edge of this line of thunderstorms. These are some pretty strong winds showing up in the bulk wind shear. We have to keep an eye on that. If we do have a bow echo develop later today, then damaging wind would certainly be a possibility. Let me show you the Storm Prediction Center. This is a special model that they run. I'll move it forward to about 7 a.m. this morning. This is what that model was showing. Now, it really wasn't picking up on the thunderstorm complex over Kansas as much as I would typically like to see it perform. It was underperforming, but so is the NAM model this morning. It shows nothing out here. So the models are pretty much useless as far as the Kansas complex. But what I wanted to show you as we move forward is that the SPC model did pick up on the idea that a area of showers and thunderstorms would form over Missouri and spread into our area. So although it's not perfect, it does have the general idea about a complex of storms forming in Missouri and Kansas and pushing into our area. This animation here, I'll stop it at 7 o'clock tonight, and you can see the large area of storms has since pushed off to our east by that time. But watch what happens back here in Missouri, Kentucky, and Illinois tonight, is that the SPC model is also picking up on the development of some heavy thunderstorms. And those are slow moving and they train over the same areas. So it's not a sure bet what happens tonight on Wednesday night, but let's keep an eye on that idea as well. The main thing for this morning and early afternoon will be this incoming line of storms from Missouri and this dying area to the north. The more sun you have today, the more unstable the atmosphere will become. If you have sunshine all morning long into the 12 or 1 o'clock hour, then there's going to be a lot of energy for these thunderstorms to work with. Thus, heavy rain, frequent lightning, and damaging winds will be a concern later today. We do have a risk for some severe weather. As we look forward out into the next few days, we're going to have at least scattered thunderstorm chances into the weekend and Monday and perhaps Tuesday, and occasionally a stronger system may push through that may enhance our thunderstorm coverage. In particular, I'm watching Friday afternoon into Saturday morning for another impulse to move through here that could trigger a bit more widespread thunderstorm activity. Some of it could be heavy and possibly even severe. All right, I'll keep an eye on things today and we'll update accordingly. Have a nice day.